What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Arena of Valor video, and today we are gonna be taking a look at the new patch, which is actually coming sometime in December. On the Taiwanese server it is already out. On the Indonesian server you can see it is coming out on the 1st of December, and as always EUNA is gonna be a little bit delayed. But as you can see, this patch, the cover they used for it is the new Omega Rework, and let me tell you guys, man, Omega is gonna be so broken. He went all the way from like a 44% win rate to a 56% win rate in a couple of days with this new rework on the Taiwanese server. So this should be really exciting. This patch won't really have too many hero balance changes, not too many heroes are getting hit, but the ones that are getting hit are receiving huge changes. Omega, Mganga, Butterfly is getting her rework, so this should be very exciting. So let's check out the changes right away here, guys. Now, yeah, as I said, EUNA will always be a little bit delayed. We'll probably get it in a couple of weeks, but for all my Indonesian viewers, this is coming in like 2 days. So yeah, definitely pay close attention here. Now, there is some battlefield adjustments. The support items are getting a little bit reworked. As you guys know, I always complain about how strong support is right now because you get so much gold, so much XP. You're always ahead of the mid laner and you're a support, right? And they're hitting this a little bit. You're gonna be having some less gold, some less XP and gold, especially in the early game as well, is what they say here as a support. So that's really good because, as I said, all of these supports like Support Richter are just secondary assassins or even primary assassins if they get some early kills. So yeah, that is definitely really good. Now there is another interesting change. The quick buy system is getting tweaked here. So for example, when you have boots as your 4th item or something in your pre-made build, when you go into a game, right? It will always recommend you these boots on the left side to buy early, okay? So you don't have to go into the shop, open the shop, pre-order boots yourself. It will always recommend the boots after you build that first item. So that's pretty neat. The same for the jungle item. It's just all around more optimized, okay? Sometimes you want to buy boots before you complete the tier 2 jungle item, even on most marksmen. You do that, you go for the attack speed boots. So all of that will be much more smooth. And yeah, you will also be able, back in the days, you remember how I used to build Kefani with 5 crit gloves, right? Before you continue with your main build. That is also getting a little bit tweaked here. You won't have to always pre-order these crit gloves. Now you will be able to have the set build with 5 of them, and it will keep recommending you to buy that single small item. So all of these things, just some quality of life changes. Not really too important, but nice to have, okay? Very nice to have. Gonna make the gameplay a little bit less tedious with that if you have some special builds. Now, moving on, we have also some match result changes from MVP optimization. Not really too important, but what I am looking forward to a lot here, the lane selection mode, okay? In Challenge of Valor, you choose lanes in other servers that have more population, a bigger player base. You can also choose in the normal ranked system, you can choose which role you want to play, right? And now you will be able to swap roles with people. So you won't just be able to, you won't have to ask, hey, I want to go mid, I got jungle, but I want to go mid. If you guys watch my streams, I always get jungle when I am a mid lane main in Challenge of Valor. So now you won't have to ask, you know, hey, can I go mid? You will just be able to swap. You will just be able to press one button and will ask the person if they want to swap with you. And yeah, very, very simple. I like that change a lot. Now, starting off with the juicy hero balance changes here, okay? First one, right off the get-go, is gonna be Butterfly, and I personally think she is gonna be insane, okay? I think this is a huge buff. I think, though, it makes her less cool, okay? It makes her harder to play, but it takes away her identity, right? Which is a little bit of a bummer, but let's just check these changes out. Now, this is similar to the Butterfly rework I already showcased, right? A couple of months ago, it was put on the test server and we made a quick video where I showcased everything, but since that, it was heavily changed. So if you already saw that video, keep watching this because this is really important. They completely reworked her again, okay? And this is what's going on, what's coming to the live servers now. So this is what will be playable for all of us. Butterfly. Basic attributes, they nerfed her movement speed by 20 here. Then now they changed her passive completely, okay? She doesn't get resets anymore when she kills an enemy or when she gets an assist. Now she has 3 stacks, okay? She has like a 3-stack system above her health bar, where it keeps track of these stacks. And whenever she gets a kill, she gets 2 of these assassin marks. If she kills a minion or a jungle minion, okay, she gets 1 of these stacks, or even an assist. So if you play jungle Butterfly, you know, what you're gonna do is you're gonna yoink that mid lane wave. So you sweep through with your AoE once through it, your mid laner gets all the last hits, and you get 3 stacks. That is how simple it is, okay? So you already have the passive maximally juiced up. And what that does is, if you are at 3 stacks, the next ability that you use will consume all 3 stacks and will not go on cooldown, okay? So you basically get a bonus ability. So she still has this resetting mechanic, but not really the same as before. And it's much more difficult to use because you can only reset 1 ability, okay? So maybe you use ult, and then you can ult again. However, you can't S2, S1 twice, right? Then the first ability got completely changed as well. It's still the same AoE, it's still the same slash around her. However, they changed the damage a little bit. Now it deals increased damage for each enemy hit. So if you hit an AoE minion wave and there's an enemy champion, an enemy hero as well in there, he's gonna take much more damage now because you're also hitting 3 more targets. Its damage is increased by 25% for each enemy hit. So in a team fight, if you hit all 5 enemy heroes, this will nuke all of them completely. This is gonna be really fun. However, keep in mind the damage isn't too big. The damage on her S1 never was too large anyway. So, but definitely a very nice little change here because it's gonna raise the skill cap even further. And keep in mind, you can use it twice if you have those 3 stacks, okay? Moving on, they also added a magic shield to it, okay? It absorbs magic damage whenever she uses it. It doesn't only give her move speed now, but also that magic damage shield. And it is 400 plus 80 per level. You can see it right here, guys. It is huge. You see that? That is a huge shield, my guys, okay? That is definitely going to be very dangerous. She's going to be really tanky. And now you might say, but only against mages, right? Well, keep watching because it gets pretty crazy here. But this is already really nice, right? And she gets that for each of her S1s. The cooldown is also going up from 6 to 8 seconds in exchange. The skill 2 also received a little bit of a change. Everything is still the same, except for it also gives her, if it hits an enemy, not only attack speed, but also crit chance, okay? Her crit rate will be increased by around 18% at max level, I think, 10% at level 1, and it also stacks up to 2 times. So if you want to choose to use your S2 twice, it's going to give you twice the attack speed and twice the crit chance. So I think we might see some Clubes Sancti builds on Violet from now on. We also have a cooldown going from 9 to 6 seconds before, for each level, of course. Now it's 6 seconds flat for each level, okay? So that is pretty good. I'm gonna help her jungle clear early on, especially. So that's gonna be really good. I think you will still max this ability because of just the amount of jungle potential it gives you. However, keep in mind, we might also see laning Butterfly now. Slayer lane Butterfly, mid lane Butterfly maybe even, because these minions, each minion wave will essentially give you a double ability. Meanwhile, in the jungle, you have to kill 3 jungle creeps to get a double ability. So I feel like laning might be viable here. Moving on to her ultimate. Still largely the same. You jump onto an enemy, you deal a bunch of damage. But now they took away these 3 bonus auto attacks where you leap to an enemy after you use an ult. So that is definitely a quite big nerf. However, they really made up for it because now they gave her like a little mark. You put a mark, it's kind of like Zed from League of Legends. You put a mark onto an enemy hero, okay? And for 3 seconds. Now, if the target has already been marked by that ability, which keep in mind, you can use your ultimate twice, right? So you can put a mark before you ult again. If you just use ult twice with the 3 stacks, with the 3-stack system. Now, this, if the target has already been marked, this adds 8% plus 2% per level of lost HP as true damage, guys, okay? So now she has an execute as well. It's getting very dangerous, okay? It's turning very OP here, I have to say. So what your combo is basically gonna be, you're gonna get your 3 stacks, okay, in the jungle, in the lane, whatever, and then you engage onto the enemy with your ult. You use all your other abilities, and your ult wasn't on cooldown because you already you had those 3 stacks, and then you just use the ult again to finish them off with that true damage. You just have to use your whole combo within 3 seconds, and it's gonna be very juicy. And now, when the effect ends of this mark, right, 35% of the damage dealt to the target, 10% for non-hero units, so you can even heal in the jungle, becomes HP regen for Butterfly, okay? So if you just use your whole combo, after those 3 seconds, you will heal half health. I saw some gameplays of her on the Taiwan server. It seems very, very crazy. Moving on, there's more, okay? There's more, because for 3 seconds after jumping onto an enemy target, the normal attack damage taken decreases by 50%, okay? So she's also gonna be getting 50% damage reduction from auto attacks. So not only does she have a magic damage shield now, she also has damage reduction from auto attacks. So she will also be very immune against physical auto attack based hero like Kefani, like every marksman, right? So this is, oh man, she is gonna be the marksman killer, like she always was, but now even more. And this seems really crazy. But wait, there's more. This is like a television ad. I don't even know. There's more. You can get a Butterfly on a discount, and you get 4 of them for the price of half of one. I don't even know. Anyway, there's more, okay? And this is really crazy. Hitting marked units with normal attacks, okay, will shorten the cooldown of skill 1 and 2 by 0.5 seconds plus 0.25 per level. So at max level, it will be by 1 second. So what you will do is, you have that Soul Reaver cooldown reduction, you have that blue buff, you have some nice amount of cooldown reduction, you have Omni Arms, you know, you have already like a 4-second cooldown on S1 and S2, and now you will jump onto them with your ultimate. You will use your S2, get a bunch of attack speed, and then just auto attack them like 3 times, and you will be able to use S1 and S2 again. You will get some more magic damage shield. It is crazy. And not only that, but there's more. Guys, it's OP. I really think it's OP. If the target dies, the ultimate cooldown is immediately reset. So I think this is while the mark is on. So if you can kill the target while the mark is on, you reset your ultimate's cooldown. And you will get 2 stacks from the passive, right? So you might be able to do a double ultimate very soon again. If there's a mini wave nearby, you can just go absolutely crazy with Butterfly right now. I'm really looking forward to this. This is a really nice, it's gonna make her much harder. For the Butterfly mains, it's really sad because they kind of took her cool passive, which defined her, slapped it onto Quillen, and now they just reworked her. So it's a little bit sad. Maybe you will have to move on to Quillen if you like that pop off when you get that kill or assist. But still, they also raised the cooldown of the ultimate by quite a bit in exchange. You can see it here, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because it seems very, very cracked out right now. Moving on to Toro. He's also getting a buff. Passive, tough hide. These patch notes are a little bit weird. I'm going to be linking them down below in the comments, by the way. But they're a little bit weird here because they don't really... they just list all the abilities without really explaining too much what exactly changed. But I will try my best here. From what I got after reading this 2 times, I think right now, Toro, he's going to get some more damage on all his abilities. He's going to feel more smooth to play, some people tell me. And he's going to be able to cancel his S2 with his S1, his ult as well. So if you go a little bit too deep, if you use that ult into the enemy team and you realize, oh man, what am I going to do? I'm caught out, right? You can't really do anything. You just have to, you can't walk away. You can't walk during S2 or the ultimate. you would just be sitting in the enemy team and you can't really do anything. Now you will be able to cancel those abilities with your S1, and you will just be able to cancel them and dash out, okay? If you see your S2 is not going to hit anyone, you just dash away, all of that good stuff. They're also lowering the cooldown on the S1, they're increasing the distance. He gains a shield now. I'm not sure if he even gained a shield when he used his S1, I really don't know, but again, they're not really listing these properly here. So yeah, but I do think Toro is already pretty strong. I do think the only reason why he's not played in esports is, I think, as I said, he's banned because some regions don't have him, because they lost that lawsuit against World of Warcraft because of the Tauren race, which looks too similar to Toro. So yeah, they also lowered the cooldown of the S2 by 3 seconds, which is insane, from 10 to 7 seconds. They also made the S2 interruptible with your ult, so if you see your S2 is not going to hit anyone, you can also just ult. You can also just jump away with your ult. All of that good stuff. And we also have some damage increase on that ultimate, I believe. We have a huge range increase for the movement distance on that ultimate, so the way he will jump, it's going to be from 5 to 7.5 meters, as you can see right here. But they also raised the cooldown by 5 seconds at each rank in exchange. So yeah, I think Toro is already, after these last buffs, he's already really insane. He's one of the tankiest, if not the tankiest hero in the entire game. So yeah, definitely a huge fan of Toro all the time, now even more so. Moving on to Mganga, this will be really juicy. I'm a little bit disappointed. I think it's actually weaker than before. But it's cool, it's a cool direction. They need to fix some things, and this is something they can build upon. I think it's pretty cool, but again, the Mganga mains will be disappointed, okay? Basically, long story short here, okay? I'm gonna explain everything without reading everything. His passive now not only gives, not only puts damage onto the enemy, right? They don't only bleed or get poisoned for damage, it also reduces their healing for each stack. Up to 5 times 8, 40% heal reduction, which is absolutely crazy, right? Now, we don't know how this will stack with the heal reduction items, but I would assume it will be a little bit less than just 40 plus 50, because that would be 90% heal reduction. That would be really OP, right? Just let me tell you that already. However, keep in mind, he has to really stack it up. It's 8% per stack, so you need to get 5 stacks onto the enemy. The S1 is pretty much still the same. It has some less cooldown on each individual charge at level 1 from 14 to 13 seconds, but at max level it's still the same at 10 seconds. Now the skill 2 got actually a pretty nice change here. It also slows now, so not only his first ability will slow, the little wave of poison will also slow now to all enemies, but it also has enemy hit, okay? They reset how he applies marks to himself and to his teammates. Now the S2 won't put a mark onto yourself. It won't put a mark onto teammates just by using it, okay? So you won't have to stack your S2 like the way you had to play Mganga, the way he's pretty strong is you build him a little bit tanky and you just keep spamming S2 off cooldown. So you keep having 5 stacks on top of your head. So even if they collapse onto you, you just heal a lot, right? That's how you play Mganga. That is really annoying. It's really annoying to just keep spamming that S2. It's just not fun for me. So what they did here is, now for each enemy hit, you will get 1 stack of S2. So if you shoot it through a whole mini wave, you instantly get 3 stacks of your passive on top of your head, and you heal a lot, okay? Applying these stacks to your teammates will be with the ult, okay? But let me just check out if the S2 also, the stacks on yourself, they also give you movement speed, 4% for 5 seconds. So if you have 5 stacks, it will be a 20% movement speed increase. And I think this also applies to your teammates. So if you get the stacks onto them. And now how do you get those stacks onto them? With your ultimate. The ultimate got completely reworked. It doesn't detonate, the name is still detonate, but it doesn't detonate stacks on enemies anymore. It deals a flat amount of damage around you in the same AOV range to all enemies. And now what it does, to all your teammates who are in range, it applies all the stacks that you have. If you have 3 stacks on top of your head, you will give all your teammates around you instantly 3 stacks, which is insane. It gives them move speed and attack speed. It's crazy strong, okay? It is really, really nice. And you can easily get 5 stacks. Guys, you just S2 the minion wave twice and you have 6. Well, 5 stacks is the maximum. So you already have 5 stacks, right? And then you can just ult and apply them to your teammates. They get 20% movement speed until the stacks wear off. And they also get that healing, which is crazy, that health regen. So this is really exciting for Mganga, okay? However, keep in mind, stacking on top of the enemies will only give them that DPS from the passive. It won't make your detonate, your ult, deal more damage on them, which is a little bit disappointing because that was what Mganga was all about. That was so much fun to get. This was the little mini game of stacking with your auto attacks and your S1, S2 onto the enemies and then just completely blowing them out, half their health gone, even though you're building tanky with that ultimate. That was so much fun for me, but they removed that. However, there's more, just like the butterfly rework, there's even more. Mganga also gets a shield, okay? That absorbs quite a bit here, 400 plus 200 per level of the ability, of course. So we're looking at 800 at max rank plus 40% of ability power. MP means ability power here. Which increases by 20% for every heal mark stack. And it lasts 5 seconds. It is insane. So let's say you have 5 stacks. Boom! That's an insane 1.6k health shield plus 80% of AP. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be really wild. You have that regrowth enchantment, which is even gonna buff it even more. Wow, this is gonna be crazy. However, very deservedly so. They nerfed the cooldown by a lot here. They almost doubled the cooldown at maximum rank from 12 to 21 seconds on this Mganga ult. But that makes a lot of sense. It is crazy good, okay? Now the issue I have with this rework is that, I'm sorry by the way if this is going to be too long this video, but I really want to give my in-depth thoughts on these changes. The issue about this rework will be with Mganga. Where does he go now? He lost a lot of damage, so he's a little bit iffy for the mid lane position. He also gained a lot of healing, but he doesn't have a lot of CC. He only has that slow on S1 and S2 and that's it. And then he can build a Frosties, which he usually does, but that's it. Is that enough for a support position? Maybe. I do think he might be good in a support position because he can really poke really well. But then again, we'll see, okay? We'll see the way his shield works. If it will put the shield on his teammates as well, it will be really broken, by the way, but just saying. But if he only puts it on himself, it's like, you're the support. Do you really want to protect yourself? You're not going to be the priority target. No one cares about you if you're a support. And they also nerfed the income of supports. If it was this patch right now and Mganga was like this, then yeah, you would just go AP support item, full AP as a support, and you would just be so broken. But with this, we'll see how this turns out. I will definitely try it though in both mid, support and jungle. Jungle might be good as well. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Definitely very interesting. I'm liking that they're just doing these huge changes, okay? Moving on to Yorn. He's getting a pretty big nerf. And I told you guys that Yorn is really OP right now. But this nerf might be a little bit too much. His passive is getting a huge damage nerf. 27% of AD, 2% growth at level 4, 7, 10, and 13 to 23% of AD and only 1% growth at these same levels. And then we have a movement speed bonus nerf from 30 to 20%. If you guys didn't know, whenever Yorn uses an ability, he gets a slight burst of move speed, which was really nice. But the nerfing that by 33% is pretty insane. Well, 33% of the 1/3, right? They took 1/3 away from 30 to 20%. It's pretty insane. I don't know, I don't think Yorn was like that OP that you have to. He's still really easy to kill every single time. So yeah, this might be a little bit too much. Keep in mind though, Yorn is very popular and he's very noob friendly. So in lower elos, they don't really know how to just kill a Yorn, how to just dive him with assassins. They focus tanks, they just play all over the place. And then Yorn is an absolute god, right? Because he just keeps shooting long range, does the most damage at that range, and yeah. So I understand, but won't be too strong anymore in high ranks, in my opinion. Moving on to Wonder Woman. This is a very well-deserved nerf. I think it could be a little bit more. They don't want to over-nerf her. She was garbage for a lot of patches, so now she's finally OP. You can leave her a little bit like that. I like it. I really enjoy that hero as well. And she's pretty much banned all the time in ranked. I don't think it will change, but let's check it out. Amazon Shield. So the first portion of her S1 will have a damage reduction, okay? From 80% of AD to 67% of AD, and 3 to 8% of targets maximum HP. Basically 1% of targets maximum HP per level will be gone, okay? So definitely a pretty decent damage nerf, but not enough, I think. Not enough. I think she's still absolutely insane, especially because of that passive, and that S1 gives you that passive as well. So that is just a little bit too crazy. Now we have some pretty large Chi buffs here as well. Chi the Brawler buffed. Passive, Protection Aura, okay? So her heal from her passive is going up from 120 plus 20 per level to 120 plus 30 per level. Definitely gonna help her a decent bit. Keep in mind she also got buffed with her range on her S1, the last patch. So this might be a little bit overkill, because look at this S1 and S2 buff, okay? The damage from S1 is getting a huge buff, man. From 40 base damage increase at level 1 to 90 damage increase at the maximum level, and 70% of AD to 85% of AD, and she always goes full AD pretty much. So this is gonna be absolutely nuking everybody now. The skill 2 is also getting a huge buff in terms of damage. 75 per, I think per little stack, I think this is 75. So 75 to 90, so this is 15 per little you know, of her S2. If you get, of course, it's a damage over time kind of thing, so it is a pretty big buff. And then also 7% of AD buff as well, from 33 to 40%. So this is pretty insane, but now this is the insane part. It's also getting more physical defense reduction. So you will have huge armor pierce on her now, from 15 per stack at level 1 to 20. And at maximum level, it's from 50 to 60. So that is pretty crazy, man. We'll see how this will behave. She's already picked quite often in esports. She's already picked quite often in ranked as well by players who actually can play her. She's not easy to play at all. So I definitely think this will put her even more into the spotlight. She might be solidifying her place as not only just a counter pick against Florentino, which is what she's usually used for in competitive. She will also be used just as a standalone great pick, I think. Moving on to Violet, she's getting a little bit buff. Again, I don't really understand that. I think Violet is in a great spot right now. She is really strong, and she's basically just getting some nice little damage buff and mana reduction, okay? So mana buff as well on her S1. She won't be running out of mana, although with the mana refill enchantment with the little yellow bottle that refills your mana, you already don't need that, but still nice to have. And we have just base damage buff, pretty much 50 across every single rank of the skill 1, which isn't too big, but again, still definitely a nice little early game buff, especially for Violet coming in. If you guys watch my esports videos, you already see that Mad0322 picks Violet a lot, and he always wins the early game. So again, this is a little bit questionable. Moving on to Omega here, okay? And Omega is finally getting that huge rework, guys. That is what we've been all waiting for. He's gonna look so cool. I'm gonna be putting a little card top right of this video right now to which will take you to my Omega Rework video, where I already showcased his skills a couple of months ago, because they changed some things since then, but now they didn't really change too many things. So you will see how he looks. He looks the same. His abilities are still pretty much the same. Some changes that I will go over. And I will, of course, explain all the abilities here as well, without really reading all the details, because that would take too long. You can see this is an absolute essay. This is, yeah. Timmy thought they have to hand in an essay here, I guess, to the gaming teacher, which is me, by the way. So, hey, not bad. I'll give them like a B+ on this one. It's honestly a really nice rework. But yeah, let's check this out, guys. This is crazy. So he looks completely different. He's slim now, he looks super cool. He looks like an enemy from Nier Automata, basically. He looks like a desert enemy from Nier Automata. I mean, you already saw him right here, guys. You can scroll up. This is how he's gonna look like. He's super slim. He has a huge shield now around himself with his ultimate, and it is amazing, guys, okay? It is so cool. Really looking forward to it. And as I said, from 44% win rate or 46 to 56, it is the most broken hero in the game, most likely, at this current stage. And it's only been like 3 days since he was released on Taiwan. So let's check it out. Omega has a new passive now, which makes him deal every 6 seconds. He gets enhanced auto attack range, which leaps to the enemy. It looks really cool. And it does AoE damage around that enemy for a certain amount of his maximum health and additional maximum HP physical damage. Okay, it deals double the damage to minions, okay? So you might even see him in the jungle now. I think that's how he's being played as well. I'm not sure, but we will see how this meta will develop. But he's gonna deal a bonus 8% max HP physical damage to creeps, which is pretty crazy. This auto attack also stuns towers for 2 seconds, which is very long, really, really cool. And yeah, 4% of maximum health, so you will go very tanky still on him, but you will deal a lot more damage than on the previous patch, because now he has these health ratios similar to Superman. Skill 1, Rampage, quite a long cooldown. What it does is, it's very similar to his previous skill 1. It also gives him a shield, makes him run faster, but what it does now is it deals damage to enemies and makes them, briefly knocks them away, okay? If he just walks through them. He doesn't have to punch them or anything anymore. It's not an enhanced auto attack. It just gives him an enhanced move speed, gives him a huge shield, which again scales with maximum health. And if he runs through an enemy, it knocks them away briefly, okay? Like it's like a knock up, knock away, I think, from what I remember. So you like make a path, okay? You just, hey, you're the Chad, you kick the soy boys away, okay? So it is really cool, is really, really nice. Then this, I don't really understand this, the passive movement speed. This is a little bit weird. It's just some, it just gives you movement speed, basically. We'll see what this interacts. It has a passive attached to it, which also gives you movement speed, but it basically says the same thing as this, so it's a little bit weird. Moving on to skill 2, this got completely changed. You know how it was an AoE cone stun in front of you, which almost never hit because it was so slow. And now it's really cool. Again, it deploys 5 energy collectors, which is basically 5 missiles that circle around Omega now, okay? Again, check the video in the card that I put at the top right if you guys want to see how it looks. It looks really cool. And these energy things, if they bump into an enemy, they explode, okay? And each of them, energy collectors, charge Omega's shield when they hit enemy heroes, reducing the rampage cooldown by 0.5 seconds, okay? So your skill 1, for each one of these 5 thingies that bump into an enemy minion, into an enemy hero, or into an enemy tower as well, will reduce that S1 cooldown by 0.5 seconds, so you will be able to zoom around the map really, really often. That's going to be really cool. And they also reduce the cooldown time of the passive by a full second. So it has a 6-second cooldown, so what you will do is you jump in onto the enemy, right, with that small little dash attached to that passive auto attack, do a lot of damage, AoE as well. It's a small AoE. Again, you can see it in the video. That scales of max health. Then you will use that S2 and it will basically reduce that passive cooldown by 5 seconds. So it's almost up again, only 1 more second and you can jump onto them again. So you have really nice chase potential and you can of course engage the whole thing with that S1, with that 40% move speed bonus, and you will be really tanky at the same time. This is gonna be so cool. And while it is definitely OP right now with the way the numbers are, it doesn't seem like a super, it's not a Florentino or something where you just have no counterplay if he plays well or something. It's still just a tank running at you, right? So if they nerf some numbers, it's gonna be perfectly balanced. So I'm a really huge fan of this rework. Now, there's more. Again, that S2 as soon as all of them explode, it triggers him to do a little sweep around him, okay, with his little sword, and that stuns everybody around him. So you also have some more stunning capabilities, and it again deals also a lot of damage, this sweep, and again maximum health ratio here once again, okay? So this is pretty, it's gonna be pretty crazy. And it also stuns everyone around you for a second, for a full second, which is not to be underestimated. Now the ultimate is probably the coolest thing. It has quite a large cooldown, as you can see here. It still kept the Omega feeling. He still spins. Well, not he spins. He uses his plate armor or whatever and makes a circle shield around him, and that just keeps spinning. And it has the same effects as before. Creating an impenetrable barrier that lasts for 2.5 seconds. It deals a certain amount of attack damage again, and max HP scaling, so you definitely want to go tanky on this guy. And knocking them back for a short time, just like Omega does already. Yeah, Omega does that already in AOV. He already knocks them back, so you're still gonna have that Beyblade action and you knock people around. However, it's gonna be maximum of 4 times now. I'm not sure if this was before that as well. You can only knock people back 4 times. And now, okay, now we have basically an Omega ult like before, but it also is a D-Rock ult. It blocks all ranged normal attacks that would normally have hit Omega or friendly heroes in the area, okay? So what you will do is you will put your marksman and mage inside. They will follow you around inside that ult for those 2.5 seconds, and they will not take any normal attacks. Now it really says normal attacks, ranged normal attacks. So I don't think it applies to abilities. So it's not the same as D-Rock. But keep in mind, it also blocks tower shots. So that is really cool. So you can really dive deep with this boy now. It is gonna be so much fun. Yeah, you can see this patch, not a lot of changes, not a lot of heroes being hit, but the heroes that got hit, man, they received such big changes, and it's gonna definitely mix up the meta a lot. They also improved some backpack stuff that you can sell your not wanted skin trials, hero trials and stuff like that easier. All of that good stuff. They also put the Omega Rework in Carano chest. If any one of you plays that, rejoice for that. And yeah, anything other than that is only just small bug changes and stuff. I think this is again an amazing patch. Violet, a little bit questionable. Chi also a little bit might be too much, but other than that, great changes. Nothing I don't agree on. The Yorn might be a little bit too much, but it's fine considering lower elo is probably a huge problem and everyone would complain. So yeah, definitely amazing patch. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if this was too long. I went a little bit more in depth than usual because these 3 heroes, Mganga, Butterfly and Omega that got hit really just received tremendous changes. So I just wanted to really explain it in detail. Let me know what you think of that. Let me know if I should try to make them shorter again. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, let me know in the comments. Also, leave a like, subscribe, ring that notification bell to not miss these videos, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, boys. Bye-bye.